morning and welcome to the annual general meeting of the Nottinghamshire and City of Nottingham Fire Authority. First item on the agenda today is appointment of chair. So could I ask for nominations for chair, please? Thank you. No.
I would like to propose Michael Payne.
Thank you. Is that seconded? Thank you, Councillor Fielding. Are there any other nominations? No other nominations? Councillor Payne, you're re-elected as chair.
Thank you, Clerk, and thank you, colleagues, for your continued confidence in me to chair the authority. Welcome to everybody today to our annual general meeting of the Full Fire Authority on Friday the 22nd of May here at the Joint Police Fire Headquarters, and thank you to the Clerk for opening today's meeting. The second formal item on our agenda today, colleagues, is to appoint a vice chair. So I'll call for nominations for vice chair. Councillor Khan.
Can I propose Vice Chair Audra Winter?
Councillor Audra Winters proposed by Councillor Khan. Anybody second that? Seconded by.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councillor John Clark. Any other nominations? No. I'll close nominations then. Councillor Audra Winters, duly elected as Vice Chair. Do you want to come and join us, Audra, and congratulations? Congratulations, Councillor Winter. Item 3 on our agenda then is apologies for absence. Have we any apologies? Councillor Upton.
Councillor John O'Lee.
Councillor Lee, thank you, Councillor Upton. Any other apologies? No. Item 4 then is declarations of interest of any members or officers present in relation to any items on today's agenda. Are there any declarations of interest, colleagues? I'm not seeing any notifications. Item 5 then is the minutes of the meeting held on the 23rd of February, which are on pages 3 through to page... They're on your yellow pages 3 through to page 19 in the agenda. Any comments or questions in relation to the minutes, colleagues? Are people happy to approve those as a correct record? They're agreed? Item 6 then is Chair's announcements. Can I just one item really to deal with in terms of Chair's announcements, say a very big welcome to those new colleagues joining the authority from both the City Council and the County Council. A particular welcome back to Councillor Selma Mumtaz, who has previously served on the authority. It's really good to see you back with us, Selma, and really looking forward to working with you again. A huge welcome also to Councillors Nayab Patel, Samina Riaz and Councillor Audra Winter, who are all newly joining us on the authority. And double congratulations to Councillor Audra Winter. I'm really looking forward to working with us as Vice Chair. A huge thank you to Patience Ifedora, who is no longer with us on the authority, no longer serving on the authority, but from my personal perspective was an absolutely outstanding Vice Chair, and I think made a significant contribution to the authority in many areas, but not least in the area of significant progress around the issues around equality, inclusion and diversity. So a particular thank you to Patience as our outgoing Vice Chair. We will find a way of formally saying thank you to Patience and others. A very big welcome to Councillor Tom Smith from the County Council. It's really great to see you, Tom, and looking forward to working with you. And a congratulations to Councillor Roger Upton, who I understand now will be lead spokesperson for the Conservative group on the authority. Looking forward to working with you, Roger, in group leaders and in full authority.
Thank you.
And can I put on record my particular thanks to Councillor Jonathan Wheeler, who served for very many years as the leader of the Conservative group, and both in the authority but also in the group leaders meetings and also in the private conversations that he and I had over very many years. I always found him very kind and courteous and engaging, and challenging at times. That was his job as the leader of the opposition, but I think he made our decisions better decisions as a result. And I have personally already congratulated him, but I want to put it on record in terms of his appointment to the role of Cabinet Member for Adult Social Care. Not an easy job, but I know one that he will do with distinction in the same way that he did do here. And then finally, colleagues, can I also say a thank you to Councillor Learcat Ali, Councillor Devonte Acure and Commissioner Caroline Henry for their service on the authority as well. They made significant contribution in their own right. Thank you for their service. And I'll just finish by saying how great it is to welcome Gary Godden as the new Police and Crime Commissioner for Nottingham and Nottinghamshire. It's so great, Gary, to have you as a full member of the authority. Thank you so much for making the time today. I know what a busy time it is for you at the moment in the role, but you're very, very welcome, Gary, and it's really good to see have you here. And I know you'll get full support from colleagues from the City and County, irrespective of the political colour. We tend to work together as a team here in the authority. It'd be great to have you as part of that team and your colleagues in the office as well. Gary, did you want to say one or two words?
I do, yeah. Thank you for that, Michael. Just to say, obviously it's my first day today. I'm going to start with an apology. I'm not going to be able to be here all day, which is disappointing for me because I would like to get to start knowing you all. It's a pleasure and an honour to be here. It's obviously part of my role as the PCC. It's really important that we have this relationship. So I'm going to be looking forward to working with you all, and obviously Craig and Michael very much so in the coming future. So firstly to say I'm really sorry I can't be here. Secondly to say I'm really pleased to be here and I'm excited about moving things forward. So here I am. Contact me if you need to contact me. My door is open. Happy to have conversations, happy to be involved, happy to deal with any requests, challenges, or anything you might need support with. Bring it to me and let's have a look at it and let's have a sensible conversation and move things forward. So thank you for having me here today.
Thank you very much, Gary, and thank you, colleagues. So I'm going to move on to item 7, which is the membership of the authority, appointments to committees and boards and dates of future meetings. And I'm going to hand over to the clerk to just talk us through the report before we deal with appointments to the individual committees and the respective chairs, for which I'll call the votes. But I'm going to let the clerk just talk through the report and associated issues first.
Thank you, Chair. This is a report that I bring every year to note the membership of the authority following the appointments by the City and County Councils, and also to welcome Gary Godden to his first meeting. It sets out the committee structure and asks for your approval to it. We will then go through the list of each committee and I will ask for nominations from each group. And we will also need to make appointments to the Strategic Inclusion Board and the Pensions Board. So the first item I'd ask you to note in 2.1 of the report and 2.2 are the appointments from the City and County Councils, but also asking you to note that under the City Council nominations, it is no longer Councillor Nick Rain who's appointed to the authority, it is Councillor Gul Khan. So if you could note that, please, but otherwise it is set out in the report. The next issue then, as far as I'm concerned, is agreeing the committees, which are the Policy and Strategy Committee, the Human Resources Committee, the Community Safety Committee, the Finance and Resources Committee, the Personnel Committee and the Appointments Committee, and agreeing that they will be the established committees for the authority for the coming year. And then moving on then to the individual appointments for those committees, I would ask for nominations from each of the groups. And if I could start firstly with Policy and Strategy Committee, noting that the chair of the authority is automatically a member and will chair that committee. But there are places for 3 Labour Group, 2 Conservatives and 1 Independent Alliance. So could I have the Labour Group nominations, please, for Policy and Strategy?
Thank you, Clark. Myself, as chair of the authority, to chair the committee, Councillor Audra Winter and Councillor Sybil Fielding.
Thank you. For the Conservative Group, I've been notified by Councillor Upton that the members will be Councillor Upton and Councillor Nigel Turner. could I have the nomination for the Independent Alliance, please?
It'll be myself.
Thank you, Councillor Hollis. Moving next to the Human Resources Committee, could I have the Labour Group nominations, please?
Yeah, Councillor Audra Winter, Councillor Nayab Patel and Councillor Gul Khan.
Thank you. And for the Conservatives, I have been notified it will be Councillor Corden and Councillor John O'Lee. And could I have the nomination from the Independent Alliance Group, please?
It'll be myself again.
Thank you, Councillor Hollis. Moving then to the Community Safety Committee, 3 Labour Group places. Could I have the nominations, please?
Yeah, Councillor Samina Riaz, Councillor Gul Khan and Councillor Anwar Khan.
Thank you. And for the Conservatives, I have been notified that it will be Councillor Turner and Councillor Corden. And for the Independent Alliance Group, please.
Councillor Jason.
Thank you. Moving then to the Finance and Resources Committee, where we have 7 members, 4 Labour, please, for 4 members.
Councillor John Clark, Councillor Salma Mumtaz, Councillor Anwar Khan and Councillor Sybil Fielding.
Thank you. And for the Conservatives, I've been notified it will be Councillors Callum Bailey, Councillor Richard Butler and Councillor Tom Smith. Moving then to the Personnel Committee, 4 Labour Group places, please.
Councillor Nayab Patel, Councillor Audra Winter, Councillor Samina Riaz and Councillor Gul Khan.
Thank you. And for the Conservatives, I've been notified it is Councillor Roger Upton, Councillor Richard Butler and Councillor John O'Lee. Moving then to the Appointments Committee, this automatically includes the Chair and Vice Chair of the authority. So 1 more Labour Group nomination, please.
Councillor Sybil Fielding.
Thank you. And for the Conservatives, I've been notified it will be Councillor Roger Upton and Councillor John O'Lee. So could I ask for a nomination from the Independent Alliance, please?
It'll be myself.
Thank you, Councillor Hollis. So, if we could then go back to looking at the chairs for the individual committees. Policy and strategy is automatically the chair of the authority, as I've already explained. So then it's moving to the Human Resources Committee. Chair, would you like to?
Thank you, Clark. So I'm now going to ask for nominations for Chair of the Human Resources Committee, please. Councillor Clark.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Can I propose Audra Winter?
Councillor Audra Winter proposed to be Chair of Human Resources Committee. A seconder for that, please.
Audra Winter, please.
Thank you, Councillor Riaz. Any other nominations? I'm not seeing any other nominations, not seeing any indications. I'm going to take that as elected unanimously. Congratulations, Councillor Winter.
Could we then move to the Chair for Community Safety, please?
So I'm now going to ask for nominations for the Chair of Community Safety Committee. So nominations for the Chair of Community Safety Committee, please. Councillor Hollis.
I'll propose Councillor Jason Zadrozny.
Councillor Zadrozny is proposed. Somebody to second?
Second.
That's seconded. Any other nominations for that respective committee? I'm not seeing any nominations. Congratulations, Councillor Zadrozny.
Can we move to Finance and Resources, please?
I'm now going to ask for nominations for the Chair of Finance and Resources Committee. Councillor Khan.
Can I propose Councillor John Clark as Chair?
Councillor John Clark's proposed as Chair. Somebody to...
I'll second it, Chair.
That's seconded by Councillor Patel. Any other nominations for that respective Chair of the committee? I'm not seeing any nominations. Congratulations, Councillor Clark. I think that's it.
That is it, Chair, in terms of Chair. So we now need to appoint to the Strategic Inclusion Board.
Yeah.
So could we have nominations for the Strategic Inclusion Board, please?
From the Labour Group, Clark, myself, Councillor Winter and Councillor Fielding for our 3 places.
Thank you. From the Conservative group, I don't think I've got nomination.
Myself.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And from the Independent Alliance? Thank you. Councillor Upton, you can have a second place on the Strategic Inclusion Board if you...
Councillor Bailey? Yeah, Councillor Bailey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just be aware before the clerk moves on this particular point that the formality obviously is that we name colleagues for the Strategic Inclusion Board, but I just want to stress the ongoing arrangement around that board being open to every member. We don't tend to vote in that meeting. It's really important. It usually meets at the rise of every fire authority meeting. Obviously, the issues around equality, inclusion and diversity are important for the fire sector at the moment, but are really important for this organisation. I know there's a lot of passion about those issues in the authority, so I would certainly really welcome as many colleagues as possible attending that meeting. It's an open invitation, notwithstanding the formal membership, so please do stay for those meetings if you can.
Thank you. And the final item then is set out in section 2.7 of the report, which is appointments to the Pension Board. The current councillor member is Councillor Fielding, and the officer role is undertaken by Assistant Chief Fire Officer Michael Sharman.
We'd like to move, Clerk, if we can, that Councillor Fielding continues. She's very experienced in the role as our member, that Councillor Nayab Patel is elected as, or proposed to be elected as her substitute should Councillor Fielding not be able to attend the meeting. And we'd be perfectly content if colleagues are in the room for ACFO Sharman to continue as the staff member officer on the board. I'd like to propose that from the floor. Is there a seconder for that proposition? That's seconded. Agreed? Is that agreed? Yes. Thank you, colleagues.
Just need to agree on those recommendations.
Okay, thank you very much to the clerk. Thank you, colleagues, for your assistance in relation to dealing with those procedural items. The recommendations are on page 8 of the appendix report that you've got. There are 4 recommendations. Appointments to the Fire and Rescue Authority be noted, that the committee structure be approved, and appointments to committees and appointments of committee chairs be made and dates of meetings approved in accordance with the votes that we've just had, and that appointments to the Strategic Inclusion Board and Pensions Board, as per the votes we've just taken, are also made. So I'll move the recommendation, colleagues, and be happy to second those recommendations. That's seconded by Councillor Clark. All those in favour? All those against? Any abstentions? Colleagues, the final thing just to note in discussion with the Chief Fire Officer and the Clerk, which I think will find consensus in the room, and I hope we'll find consensus, it will not be lost on colleagues that there are a round of meetings in the short campaign of the general election, and clearly colleagues in this room, whatever their role, will have involvement in that campaign and in the processes in relation to that. There is obviously business we still need to transact, but we need to be acutely aware as well of members' roles elsewhere. So if there is agreement and consensus about this, we're going to try and be sensible about the round of meetings in the short campaign up to the 4th of July. There's a Policy and Strategy Committee meeting on the 5th of July, which is clearly going to need to be moved. It's the day after the general election. There'll be counts and staff involved in other things. With your permission, I would suggest that in terms of the committee meetings in the short campaign of the general election, we try and pull any business that needs to be transacted into one Policy and Strategy Committee meeting, so that we are not pulling people and officers away from other roles and responsibilities they will have. So I'm hoping that people are content with that as an approach just for the next 6 weeks until we've got the other side of the general election on the 4th of July. Is that okay with people?
Yeah.
Thank you. I think that's everything. Clark, is that everything you need from
That is everything I need. Thank you,
the
Chair.
report? Thank you, colleagues. Item 8 then is the exclusion of the public. So it's to consider excluding the public from the meeting during consideration of the remaining items in accordance with Section 100A of the Local Government Act 1972 under Schedule 12A Part 1, Paragraph 3, on the basis that, having regard to all the circumstances, the public interest in maintaining an exemption outweighs the public interest in disclosing the information. So I will move the recommendation. Is that seconded by somebody? Thank you. Is that agreed by everybody? It's agreed. So I'll ask